Welcome back, everybody. So in this video, we're going to be going over all 20 Krasue add-ons and explaining them and tier listing them. Okay, so the first add-on we're going to go over is Crumpled Sheet Music. So Crumpled Sheet Music, right, is a green add-on, and what it does is whenever you successfully hit a survivor with like your leeching gland, like the regurgitate, you get 12 charges of your headlong flight. And the reason why I'm going to put this in A is because Krasue, she has everything, right? She has a good chase power, she has a good oppression and chase, she has a good 1v1 sense, right? But the thing she lacks is being able to pressure multiple survivors and map pressure. But this add-on will help you get that map pressure back, because after you infect people, right, which is obviously in her gameplay loop to infect people, you will get 12 charges, which is like basically the full thing. I'm pretty sure it's the full thing, honestly. Hold on, let me check. I think that should be a full thing, like a full, like, flight right there. Yeah, the power gauge of the headlong flight is 12 charges, so you get a full gauge of it, like a full refill, and that can be so great for whenever you're trying to get some quick chases. Alright, so now onto Sticky Lozenge, and it's basically like a cough drop. I like to call it cough drop because it's literally a cough drop. It's a brown add-on, but that doesn't mean it's bad. So what it does, I honestly feel like it's a really great beginner-friendly Krasue add-on. It basically shows like a preview of the impact zone while you're charging your regurgitate. So this is obviously like that one nurse add-on where it like shows you where you end up when you blink, and just another one of those like beginner-friendly add-ons. And I would honestly say it's like about a B tier, because it doesn't really help you with anything like getting value, but it does help you understand how her power works pretty early on. Okay, Pig's Eye. Pig's Eye actually used to be really good prior to her hook nerf, where survivors would stay infected even after hook. Usually survivors, right, whenever they get off hook, they want to go away somewhere else and reset or heal, right? I guess a killer that's like really agile like Krasue, but in this case, the Pig's Eye shows you the aura of anybody that eats a fungus within 40 meters of your current location. But obviously, since people get cleansed off of it, people get cleansed now, like on hook, there's no point. You're never gonna get value out of this unless you're playing like really aggressively with your leech, or unless someone just purposely not eating a mushroom until like really late. So this is honestly a D tier perk, D tier add-on. I mean, used to be really good though. Used to be really good. Now for theater binoculars. Okay, so after you successfully hit a survivor that's not afflicted with leech with an intestinal whip, you basically see the aura of all other survivors within 24 meters for 6 seconds. Okay, so I find this add-on very iffy. It's more of like an information add-on, but the way you trigger it is just so weird. You have to hit someone in your head form while, like, while they're not even infected, so you're not even damaging the person, which is the worst thing. And then whenever you go to the other person, you have to still change back to body form and infect them, right? So I feel like this is just a waste of time. It just gives you information for nothing. Well, yeah, sure, you can find where people are hiding and stuff, right, and sneak up on them. But I feel like that's just too situational, you know? Like, it could be better. Like, if it triggered on, like, damaging someone or doing a certain thing in head form, that'd be perfect. So, yeah, I'm honestly gonna give this a C tier, because, yeah, the info is great, but not really helpful to you. Ooh, okay, this is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorites. Spattered Handkerchief. So what it does, once it executes a powered, right, it triggers, and it causes every remaining survivor to suffer from Leech Tier 1, and it causes all of the remaining fungus on the map to decay and disappear within a second. And I mean it, it's like a second, like a millisecond. And this leads to some oppressive and strong endgame builds, because look at, to get to Leech Tier 2, you need a minute of being infected with Leech Tier 1, right? What does No Way Out do? Out 4 charges. It literally puts you at broken. It's like a built-in terminus, like the Wesker perk. And when you pair this with the whole endgame mode, it is the most evilest thing you can ever do. You start slugging like crazy, and woo, the survivors are gonna hate your guts, bro. Get it? Cause like guts. All right, I'm gonna shut up. So yeah, I'm just gonna give this one an S tier, because it's like honestly a perk. Well, actually, A or S. I would put it on S, but you don't get value out of it to the top. I would put it on an S, but you don't get value out of it until the end game. That's one thing. But during end game, though, you get immense value, of course, if you're running it with No Way Out too, and like you start slugging and everything too. Honestly, I'm just and yeah, the thing you can stay in head from the whole time actually. Because if you hook, you're gonna lose the infection, so you have to slug. Yeah, this is an S tier. It's honestly an S tier. Okay, now one of her purple add-ons. All right, mysterious elixir. I've used this a few times on my body experiments, but I didn't use it in the video, but I use it off camera. So what it does is whenever you use regurgitate, right, and you hit a window, it causes it to become marked, and whenever it's marked, it has like this like little like red, like little like slimy effect, and it's a little obvious. The survivor can see it, you can see it, and then this can actually be put onto multiple instances. So you can put it onto like two vaults. Like you can set up the whole TNL. Like you can spatter on both TNLs, and whenever you vault it, it blocks it for 10 seconds and removes the mark. So basically like Centipede from Ghoul or Bamboozle, but you don't have a faster vault speed. And I'm gonna be honest with you, playing body form, you don't really need to do this because you can honestly get your regurgitate outside of windows without needing to vault the window over. But I do see the vision, but I just feel like it would have been better for her prior state to whenever you could have like played body form only and used like Lorenza's, which I'm gonna discuss later. But yeah, Elixir is not that good anymore. It's a really fun concept, but I feel like they should make this base kit, but for pallets instead. But instead of it's a vault, not a block, because the pallet vault right now is really slow, and it should, yeah, just I don't can be like reworked. But right now I feel there's like no use of it. Honestly, there's no purpose. So I'm honestly gonna give it a D tier because you don't need it. You legit just can just leech people out, like through windows. You can bounce it to the window. You can ricochet to the window. You can even like hit them directly while they're vaulting. There's no need for this. Okay, Chicken Head. Oh my god, Chicken Head is one of her strongest add-ons. And here's the thing. So what Chicken Head does is at the start of the match, it makes everyone, and I mean everyone, inflicted with leech tier 1. So they all have to find mushrooms before they start. Basically like a little mini corrupt intervention. But more mushroom spawning. But you know why this doesn't matter? There's so many ways to get cleansed by either getting hooked or finding a mushroom, like one of the trillion mushrooms on the map. So it doesn't matter anyways. And a fun fact too, honestly not a fun fact, it's a mean fact. Mushrooms will still spawn even if you don't go into head form. If you don't transform, they still spawn, by the way. There's just like a little passive system. And that's the most rigged shit I've ever heard. Once I found out about that, I was so mad. But yeah, typical behavior moment. Didn't even tell us in a power description, like. So yeah, honestly, yeah, it's great. It gives you like a really good advantage in your first chase. Makes your first chase a lot quicker. So yeah, why not? S tier. I'm gonna put that in front of Handkerchief, honestly. Because the way games revolve, of like who's gonna win or not, depends a lot on the first chase. And if the first chase is really quick, ooh, you're gonna be up for a long hassle. All right, Queen Scepter. Oh my gosh, this one pains me. The idea is a really good concept, but here's the thing. So what Queen Scepter does is whenever you hit someone with your intestinal whip, right? Like you hit them in head form, it spawns a splatter, and that splatter will only infect people nearby that are close enough, not the person you hit with your head form. So yes, you still have to hit that person 3 times. What the fuck is that? Like I get it's supposed to counter the body blocking, but it just won't work. Well, okay, actually, it will work, but most of the time the people that body block are smart enough to block you completely. Like, they don't even let you go through. Like they'll make sure that you can't slide around or curve around. It just depends on the survivor. But if there's like a big distance between the two survivors, you can honestly make it work. But honestly, I would say it's a C because it's way too situational. But when it gets value, it's huge. It's huge. All right, now for a chunk of Malai, what it does is it basically decreases the speed that the leech recovers by like an 8% per leech survivor that you have. So if you have 4 leech survivors, it's obviously going to be 32%, right? If you have 3, it's going to be 24. But this doesn't matter because people can cleanse the thing off a hook. I'm telling y'all don't understand how big that nerf is. That nerf makes her so much more boring to play and doesn't give her as much volume as she used to have. So yeah, Chunk of Malaya is this buns. There's no point of using it because people are going to cleanse off a hook immediately anyways. Oh my god, this has to be my favorite add-on from her. Shredded Gown is, ooh, it is evil. Okay, so basically what it does is whenever you go back to body form or go into head form, anyone that's within 8 meters of a glowing fungus, either holding it or it's on the floor, you will see their aura for 6 seconds. And I mean it, you will see the aura. What you can do is you can purposely drop mushrooms in spots that people will have a hard time getting or next to gens. So they either pressure to hold it or either pressure to just do the gen and ignore it. Because they don't know you have this add-on. They don't know, but they might speculate if you keep finding them really quickly. You can literally place the mushrooms wherever you want and you have free aura reading throughout the whole match. Because obviously you're gonna be transferring from body to head form a lot as a Krasue, and you're just gonna get constant value. I've honestly gotten accused of aura hacks before from using this, and I honestly don't blame it because it seems like I really did have aura hacks. And this is 100% being put in front of Chicken Head. This is just way better because you get value throughout the whole match. Luckless Mouse is another brown add-on, and all it does is just gives you 2 more charges of your headlong flight. Not bad, but I think this is like one of those add-ons you run if you like have no idea what to run. Because yeah, she lacks map pressure, but like 2 extra like charges isn't even that much. But yeah, it's not bad. So I'm gonna give it a C. Okay, so now rotten swine. So basically, this is like brutal strength, but you have it in your pocket. You have it with your regurgitate. So basically, you can throw, you can spit your regurgitate at a breakable wall, a generator, a pallet, right? And it marks it, right? With a red little gooey mark that happened with rotten swine. So whenever you do this and you do the break action to it, for 15, it's quicker. It becomes quicker by 15%. So basically 5% less than brutal strength. It's like not really a noticeable. It is noticeable like the speed, but honestly, once again, there's no point for you to be in body form that long. There's no point for you to be playing body form like crazy like this. There's no point in doing that anymore unless you're like trying to pressure multiple survivors. Yeah, but it's just no. Just not that. It's just iffy. Used to be a lot better. Once again, a lot better prior to the hook nerf. So I'm just gonna give it a C because it's this. Okay, Janjita's hand. So this one, what it does is whenever a generator is completed, it triggers its primary effect, right? So it causes headlong flight to instantly gain 2 charges and increases recharge rate by 25% for 15 seconds. So basically, you have access to your flight a lot. You can use it for a short little burst or a lot and it'll recharge back up. But it's only for 15 seconds, which is a bad thing. But when the last gen is completed, it instantly recharges the whole thing and it increases the recharge rate by 25% for the remaining of the trial. So you can pair this with Spider Handkerchief and it can be a good combo, but by itself, it's not really that good. Because you can honestly, there's honestly a lot, there's way better flight add-ons that she has. Like, a good example is Crumpled Sheet. That's just a way better flight add-on. Just this by itself even is better than this. It has potential, but just the concept is not really, it's just not executed well, So I'm honestly gonna give this one like a B, because yeah, it could still be useful. Now we have Dual Knife. So Dual Knife, what it does is headlong flight. Basically, it reduces its consumption rate by 25%, right? So you lose charges less quicker. When survivors are eating a glowing fungus, they benefit from 5% plus haste and elusive for 5 seconds. And as soon as I heard that survivors are getting buff from me, absolutely fucking not. We are not running this. I'm not buffing the survivor. No. You're giving them no scratch marks, no blood, no grunts of pain, and haste for 5 seconds. It might be 5 seconds, but that 5 seconds they can get away really quickly. That is the most stupidest idea to me ever. I don't know why I would ever buff the survivor. This to me is a D tier, but the plus part of it, like the good part of it, is so good though. But the downside just makes it so trash. Because I'm not about to buff you, no. Okay, so now we have first libretto. So what this does is it reduces the consumption rate of your headlong flight by 30% for 15 seconds whenever a survivor that you downed with that's a leech gets hooked. So for 15 seconds, your flight lasts for a long time. And the fact that this is a brown add-on is so good because you're gonna have a lot of them. And once again, it boosts her thing with map pressure, not having map pressure. When you have map pressure as her, you are the most evilest thing, and I mean it. Like you're so evil. So honestly, it's very straightforward. It's like crumple sheet music. Just gives you that ability to have map pressure, and I'm gonna give this an A tier, honestly. And honestly, I feel like with Krasue, you can't really like do some other playstyles and like hooking, like spam hooking is better with her. So I'm gonna say it's probably like in front of crumple sheet music. But actually, no. I'm gonna put it behind because sheet music triggers on leeching, and that can be done multiple times on one survivor. Okay, so now we have defective metronome. So what this does is that whenever a survivor eats a fungus and they're cleansing from it, they're exhausted while under its effects, right? While it's cleansing. Yeah, sure, but here's the thing. I don't think this is gonna matter because people are not gonna be eating mushrooms that much because they're gonna get cleansed off a hook anyway. So there's no point of doing it really, unless she is like a hit and run. Yeah, but you could just hide it out or like stealth it. And sure, Dahar may be her one of her biggest counters, but you can just there's so many ways you can just play it out by faking it, by going into flight mode, going to body and faking. There's just so many ways. So you honestly don't need this. You really don't. I feel like it's just a D. All right, so Broken Tiara is the same thing as the metronome, but instead it gives them oblivious. And oblivious is not it's not a bad thing, but it's just that you're not really gonna get value out of this because there's so many mushrooms across the map, and you get cleansed off a hook anyway. So there's not really a time you're gonna see someone like cleansing unless you're dealing with body blockers or you're like trying to how do I say this? Do a hit and run Krasue. And hit and run Krasue isn't really that good because there's just a lot of mushrooms that, like, once again, I know I keep saying that, but I feel like it really is that severe. You just can't play these playstyles anymore. So yeah, it's just not really reliable because people aren't really gonna be cleansing that much. So this is honestly gonna be a D tier for me. Okay, now newspaper. This one is like really good in my opinion. It's probably one of her best. And what it does is it increases your charges capacity, right, by 6 charges, and your recharge rate by 15%. But to activate it, you have to have more than 50% of flight available. And this may seem like a bad downside, but it really isn't. When you have it paired with another add-on like one of these two, firstly Liberto or Crumple Sheet Music, you can be flying around the map for days. This thing will let you do a full glide across the whole map. Like even on the biggest maps like Macmillan, Yamaoka, you can get across the whole map within like seconds. And it is so crazy. So this is honestly like an S tier for me. I'm gonna put it like right in front of Handkerchief because you can get value out of the whole match. You can pair these two actually and go around like just slugging in endgame. Now, Lorenzo's Remains, what this does is basically it affects your leech. So whenever a survivor's in leech tier 1, they suffer from blindness. And blindness is really good in solo queue, but if it's a swift, it doesn't matter because they can tell each other where they're at, where they're hooked, or whatever, right? But the best part of it is when they get to leech tier 2. When they're in tier 2, they become broken and they have a 4% hinder. But here's the thing, you like what I've been saying. There's so many ways to cleanse your hook, right? There's so many ways to cleanse your infection, right? By getting a mushroom that's like on a map or either getting hooked. But here's the thing: if you slug with this add-on, they don't. Whenever you down people, their leech doesn't disappear. So you can actually just keep them on the ground, and when they get picked up, they will start to continue to grow their leech progress. And whenever this is in solo queue and you slug, it is the most evilest and craziest thing. Like there's this chaos going on there. You don't know what to do. And this is so good when you slug, but whenever you play in her natural form, when you have to use her actual like good head form to like attack people, it becomes really bad because there's no point you will ever see anyone get to tier 2. It's just you never see it. So if it was in her prior state where you could keep your infection after hook, obviously S tier or A tier, but as of right now, it's a fat C tier unless you slug. Now, wriggling parasite. Once again, this one doesn't matter because you know what it does? It increases infection progress by 16%. And this doesn't sound bad on paper, but here's the thing. It's I know I sound so like a spam email right now, like a spam email, but once again, this is no point because people are gonna cleanse their infection so quick anyways. Like, yeah, sure, you can increase the growth to tier 2, but still, they're gonna find a mushroom before it even happens, or either get hooked by you and get it deleted. So once again, this is another trash one. So yeah, that's all I got for y'all. And I honestly think they need to rework a lot of these add-ons or rework Krasue in general. because these add-ons have such a great concepts which like promote the duality of her kit, but you can't really like play in like that sense anymore. Like there's not really a duality. It's just so head form emphasized now. It's just not even fun anymore. So if you have any comments or concerns or complaints, let me know in the comments and I'll be willing to discuss with you guys. Thank you so much. So yeah, this is our tier list, guys. Ta-da. Thank you for watching and I hope you all have a good day.